If you want to register for a Run Disney race and you're looking for some tips and what it would look like to actually register for a race, then you've come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to run through all of the races that Run Disney hosts throughout a single year. Then we'll talk about the registration process, what it looks like, what you'll need, and some tips along the way. So let's get into it. So the first thing that you need to know is Run Disney, or people that run several Run Disney races throughout the year, look at those race weekends like a season. So it's kind of like hockey or basketball where it starts in the fall and then it goes through the winter and ends in the spring. Disneyland just had their half marathon weekend, and that will be the last Run Disney weekend at Disneyland for quite some time, based on just kind of everyone's emotions from the weekend and everything. I don't think that we'll see a Run Disney race there for quite a while, but there will be 4 Run Disney weekends at Disney World for the 2026-2027 season. Like I said, starts in the fall, ends in the spring. So right now, with this video dropping in the end of January, beginning of February, we're like right smack dab in the middle of the Run Disney season. At Disney World, 2 race weekends have happened so far, and there are still 2 left. So the first race weekend of the Disney World Run Disney season is the Wine and Dine Half Marathon weekend. This is going to be October. Wait, let me get the calendar. Yes, October 22nd through the 25th. The registration will be on February 10th at 10 a.m. This race weekend has 3 race days. There's a 5K, a 10K, and a half marathon. There is a 4th race that you can sign up for, which is a challenge. Every Run Disney race weekend has a challenge, which is a combination of 2, 3, or 4 races throughout the course of the weekend. So that challenge is a 2-course challenge, so you would do the 10K and the half marathon. The next race weekend is Walt Disney's Marathon Weekend. That's always the first full week of January. So this year it is January 6th to the 10th, and the registration is on March 17th. That race weekend is the only weekend that has 4 races. There's a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, and a full marathon as well. During that weekend, there are actually 2 challenges. The Goofy Challenge, which is the half marathon and the full marathon, and the Dopey Challenge, which is all 4 races. The 3rd race weekend is Disney's Princess Half Marathon weekend. Just like the Wine and Dine weekend, there is a 5K, a 10K, and a half marathon, plus a challenge, which is the 10K and the half marathon. That is February 25th to March 1st, and the registration is on June 2nd. And then finally, the last race weekend of the season is Springtime Surprise. In 2027, it will be on April 15th to the 18th, and the registration is July 7th. For the races during that weekend, there is a 5K, a 10K, and a 10-miler, and that's the only race weekend where the challenge is 3 races. So you would do all 3, the 5K, the 10K, and the 10-miler. Now that we've talked about all of the race weekends that you can register for and the dates that registration is happening, let's talk about actually registering for an event. I have 9 tips. These are tips that I just kind of wrote out. If you watch other videos, some might be the same, some might be different, but let's get into it. Tip number 1, really simple, but very effective. Check your account information on Run Disney's website. Now, if you have a My Disney Experience account already or a Disney Plus account, if you've been on a Disney cruise, then you probably already have an account, but it's good to check it. So you can go to rundisney.com, and in the top right corner under Help and Support, you'll click Manage Account. It will take you to a login page, and if you can log in there, then you're good to go. But I would check all of your information to make sure it's correct, your address, your cell phone number, your email, all that jazz, because the last couple times that I've gone to register, at least for the it's the Springtime Surprise Yoga, that's the only thing that's available right now on Run Disney's site. When I log in and then click that registration page, it automatically fills in my information. I've never had that happen before, and I've usually just typed in my info, but that may be a change that Run Disney has made since the last time I registered for an event. So that's a pretty simple tip, but something that could go a long way on registration day when you're trying to go as fast as possible. I might mention this a couple times throughout this video, but speed is the name of the game on registration day. Now, tip number 2 is being early for registration. I'll usually be sitting in front of my computer 30 minutes before registration opens. So if registration opens at 10 a.m., I'll be sitting in front of my computer at like 9:30. The reason why is because the registration buttons will start to open up for each race at 9:45. Think of it like if you've ever rope dropped at Disney World before. Let's say rope drop at Animal Kingdom starts at 7:30, or excuse me, early access starts at 7:30, but they might let you in at 7:05, 7:10 to go to the area of the park that you want to rope drop, and then they'll let you in from there at 7:30. It's very similar with runDisney's website. They'll open up all of the queues 9:45, 15 minutes before registration starts. And then at 10 a.m., your screen will give you an actual estimated time of when you'll get to the registration page. And it's important to understand that when you join at 9:45, what will happen is you will be randomized in a list. So if you join at 9:45 and someone else joins at 9:48, it doesn't mean that you'll necessarily be in front of them in the queue. It's randomized up until 10 a.m. Once 10 a.m. hits, anyone that joins the queue will be put in a list under those other people that joined 15 minutes early in a first come, first served basis. So those ones will not be randomized. And we'll get into number of devices in a second here, but I believe I had 3 pages that I joined at 9:45 and then one that I joined at 10 a.m. just to see if it would move faster. It didn't. Oh, and actually, the next tip is talking about number of devices that you should use. So I personally, I have 2 computers. I have a work computer and then a personal computer. And so I will use both of those computers on registration day and have 2 Chrome tabs open on each device. So I'll have 4 spots in the queue total. I use Google Chrome. I think I've always used Google Chrome, and it hasn't seemed to be a problem for me personally. I have seen people talking about, Chrome versus Safari and that sort of thing. I say seen people talking about it because I've seen the messages come in group chats and stuff, but I haven't really paid a conscious attention to them and read through all of them. I also would recommend not using a phone just because the screen is smaller and everything. It's one of those things where it's like, like buying a plane ticket. I would never buy that on my phone. I would always, that is a laptop activity, right? Registering for a runDisney race is a laptop activity. That said though, the first time ever signing up for a runDisney race, which was the Dopey Challenge, I did sign up on my phone with just one browser and I got in no problem. I think more than anything, that was just me not knowing what I didn't know, and I was just very naive and was like, I'll just use my phone, whatever. I remember I was coming home from the chiropractor and I was like, oh my gosh, the registration is happening. Let me pull to the side of the road and register for this event. And that's how I did it. Tip number 4, this is one that you will probably need to remind yourself throughout the registration process, but that is to just breathe. Remember that it's not that deep. Of course, it's incredible to be able to run in a runDisney event, but if you don't get in, there are a bunch of amazing charities that have bibs that you can claim. You have to fundraise a certain amount for it, but of course, it's going to a great cause. In the last 5 times registering for runDisney races, I've gotten in 3 times on my own and run with 2 charities, and both times running with the charities, it was incredible. To ease your mind a little bit, just remember the amount of spots in the queue that I have for myself. It's 4 spots, right, for one person. Imagine how many people are trying to register for the event, times that by 4 to sometimes 8. If the clock isn't going down as it should be, don't panic, don't worry. People might just be taking a little bit longer, but then once they register for that event that they want, they're going to close out of all of their tabs and it will move you up further in the line. Sometimes the timer will mess with you mentally even more and it will actually increase in time. That's happened to me before and I'm like, what is going on? It's just, people taking a little bit longer for registering. Just remember to breathe, have patience. I know it's easier said than done, but that is super, super important on registration day. Tip number 5 is what you will need for registering for the event. So this will be a list of everything. So the first thing that you'll need is your first and last name. You'll need your gender, your date of birth, your email, your physical home address, your phone number, your emergency contact information, and then it will ask you if you're part of the military, if you're an athlete with a disability, and if you want to submit a proof of time. This is important. For the proof of time, even if you're going to submit a proof of time and you plan on submitting one, when you first register, just click the option where it says POT not required. You can change that at a later date. I was looking at the dates for Wine and Dine earlier. Registration for Wine and Dine is on February 10th. You need to submit your proof of time by June 1st, 2026. So you have plenty of time to do it after you actually register for the event, and adding your proof of time on registration day will only take more time. Then, the other information that it will ask for is if you're a cast member, if you're a DVC member, annual pass, previous distances, and then it will ask you stuff of like, are you staying on property, your party size, and then it will ask for your payment information. Before going to the payment information, you know, it's Disney, so they're gonna try and get as much money as they possibly can. Before going to the payment option, they will have the pre-order merchandise available for you to buy. Skip that as well. You can also go back and purchase that later, or just buy it at the expo if you're fine with that too. Tip number 6 is a question that I've been getting a lot on Instagram and on TikTok, specifically for Wine and Dine, and that is about registering for 2 races. So what will happen is after asking you if you're an annual pass holder and like that section, there will be 2 button options. One will say next step and one will say, I want to add another registration. So if for Wine and Dine, you want to do all 3 races, that would be the challenge, which includes the 10K and the half marathon, as well as running the 5K, you'll need to do this, and you'll want to click, I want to add another registration. This will take you back up to the top section where you'll click the race option that you didn't already click, and you'll have to fill out all of your information again. This is something very, very important to know so that you're not like shocked or anything. The reason that you have to fill out all of your information again is because this is also the same way that you register someone else for the same race that you're racing. So let's say you and your significant other both want to run the half marathon during the Wine and Dine weekend. You would put all of your information in for you. You'd click, I want to add another registration, and it would take you back up to the top where you would select the half marathon again and fill out your significant other's information. When it takes you back up to the top, don't assume that the half marathon is already selected. Sometimes it will just be like the top race. So make sure that you select the half marathon or whatever race you want for your significant other, and then you continue on to fill out the rest of the information. This video feels so serious. Oh my gosh. I'm used to like lighthearted videos. I'm taking this so serious because like that's how I am on registration day. I almost take that more serious than race day. It's definitely more nerve-wracking than race day. Also with tip number 6, one thing that I've seen people do is actually type out all of their information in like a notes tab on their computer. That way they can copy and paste. What I would also do is, let's say you have a group of friends that are all registering for races. I have 5 other people that come to marathon weekend with me. So what I'd recommend doing is before registration day, have everyone share all of their information in a group chat so you all have it for everyone. The reason that I say this is, let's say you get in on 2 devices before someone else gets in on 1. You could fill out your registration and then on the second tab, fill out their registration as well. Tip number 7 was actually about the proof of time and skipping the merch. So hey, don't submit your proof of time until after you've registered and skip buying the merch because you can do that later. Tip number 8, have your payment information ready to go. I would save it so that it autofills on your Chrome tab or your Safari tab, whatever you use. And finally, tip number 9, once you've registered for the event, I personally always take a screenshot of the confirmation page that you get on the browser and then I'll go to my email, find the confirmation email, and take a screenshot of that as well. I've never had a problem with it and with registering, but I always just want to make sure. For me, it's checking on my end that I actually did it correctly and got a registration. And then if something happens on Disney's end, God forbid, I have screenshots to say, hey, I had my registration, it was correct, here's my confirmation number, what can we do about this? Whew! Wow, that was long, and I'm kind of thirsty. I forgot to bring up a water. But those are my tips for registration day. Know that registration, it sells out fast, but it is possible to get a registration because thousands of people do it every single year. So just keep reminding yourself that on registration day. Most of the information for registration day, as far as the actual time that it starts, is on runDisney's website. But if you have other runDisney questions, if you have registration questions, let me know in the comments. You can also comment on my Instagram or my TikTok and I can answer you there too. But as always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you real soon. Peace.